So today I'm speaking to Karina and Jay, Bella's parents. And Bella is not on today because, well, let me backtrack a little bit. Some of our patients, when they graduate here, they just don't want to remember a time when they were sick and they don't want to talk about it. They have a new life, and I feel like that's Bella's life now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think she took into heart a lot of what she was taught during the lightning process as well, about staying focused on wellness and being present in the moment. And that's where she is living today. So it's an awesome thing to see.
So, Karina, tell me a little bit about your daughter, how old she was when she got sick and what was wrong with her and what your journey was like.
So 9.5, she began regurgitating solid chunks of undigested food. We were told it was reflux for a very long time, probably over a year. She was a very high achieving little girl, straight A student, was involved in many extracurricular activities, and then was so sick and so not well, and things just went and deteriorated very quickly, to the point where she wasn't able to eat, and was placed on a feeding tube. All the activities, school, everything went out the door, and we ended up with a child who at the end of the day was bedbound, wheelchair bound, and she was a provisional black belt, at age 10. So everything disappeared. Her whole life collapsed. And in turn, our whole family's life collapsed.
That must have been, I don't think I've ever asked you this, but as a couple, that's hard to go through, right? I mean, did it bring you guys closer or did it cause some issues?
Both.
Both, I think. And I think we wouldn't be human if it didn't cause both, honestly.
And we had different roles.
Yeah.
I picked up a second job to help with the medical bills that were adding up, which put different stress on me. And when I came in the door, I tried to take over and give Karina a break from the role she was taking. And no 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old wants to spend 24 hours a day with her parents. So that was stressful. And then we had our son that we were trying to keep his life as normal as possible throughout this.
How old was Bella when you guys found me?
13?
She was 13.
13.
I remember she did not want to be here in the beginning.
No.
She wanted no part of this weirdness in Arkansas.
No, she knew very little because I didn't share the little that I knew, but she knew very, very little. And she was really she didn't want to talk to she was in I have a picture of her in her wheelchair when we arrived, and she was just in a ball, didn't want to talk to anybody, didn't want to acknowledge anyone.
And she was tired.
And she was exhausted, yes.
She, taking a bath was an activity that covered 2 days worth of energy for her.
Yeah.
So
before you came here, were you guys at the point where you felt like you may lose her?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then how did you find the Spiro Clinic?
So I had been networking and researching for a long, long time. Jay kind of laughs because he says I befriend everybody, but it was through conversation with somebody who, she went to Spiro as well, Lisa Rooker, had come across your videos on Facebook and told me for months, I think this is the place. And I was fixated on the concern of it wasn't covered by insurance, or it didn't sound like anything I had ever heard of before. And boy, did my perspective change significantly, because what we learned and what we saw, once you're there, you have a vast understanding of how wonderful and how different it really is.
I do not remember, Karina, how long was Bella here for?
13 weeks.
13 weeks, about right on schedule.
So her goal was to come back to Tampa for a concert.
Yes. We rang the bell and celebrated that night, and they flew home, and I drove from Arkansas back to Tampa. I got home an hour before
the concert.
We had to leave for the concert. So
They made you drive, Jay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he drove.
I wanted Bella to be ready to go for the concert, so
Yeah.
we flew them back so they could rest and be ready.
How is Bella today?
Amazing.
Yeah. It's incredible,
Yeah.
the changes. We went from, I think the best testament to her healing is that she returned to, so she stopped going to school in 4th grade. And she went back to school part-time last year, and she's now full-time. But last year when she returned, and she had only been out of the wheelchair for maybe 9 months or so, the track coach stopped her as she was exiting the high school building. And he's like, "Young lady, you look like a runner. Would you like to join the track team?" And she was like laughing. And I'm like, "What happened?" And she was telling me the story. And she's like, "If he only knew, Mom, if he only knew." But no, she has taken life by storm. Like all the goals that she set forth before we left Arkansas, like they have been surpassed tenfold.
We traded those. I'm sorry. I was gonna say we traded those problems for having the regular teenage child.
Yeah, she's like a
now.
regular teenager now. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
And do you think, in a weird way, that this experience had some blessings for your family and for Bella? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
it changed our perspective. For me, it changed my perspective on a lot of things. But understanding that what I thought was impossible in terms of hope, like I thought hope didn't exist. Like I just didn't think there were any answers. We looked all over the world. To know that you should never give up because there's always a way. If you're willing, there's always a way. And that was, I mean, I know he didn't get to stay the whole time that we were in Arkansas. I just remember Jay's reaction, his return several weeks after she had been in treatment. And he goes, "What the heck happened here?" You know, because the light in her eyes returned. And to see that light come back into any human being you love, but especially a child, there's no price tag on that.
I kind of say life is gravy now. I wasn't sure we were going to have her, she just turned 16. I wasn't sure we were going to hit this birthday milestone.
Yeah.
So I am a lot less rigid or firm as I was before, because I'm happy to have her here, doing normal things now. So.
And kudos to you guys, because you're an incredibly close family. Karina, I know you researched like crazy and you just jumped on it. I mean, you were all in. You fought for your child when she didn't even want to fight in the beginning. So you're amazing people, and you're part of our clinic family, and we certainly love you guys.
I want to say too, when you say that, she wasn't, I think it took 2 weeks for her to understand that what you guys were doing and offering had nothing to do with her past experiences. And you quickly, all of you, like Casey, everybody there quickly became family to her too. Like she has so much respect, so much love for everybody there and for what you're doing, honestly.
Yep.
Thank you so much for doing this interview and giving another parent hope, because someone's going to watch this and get hope. And that's priceless.
I hope so.
Of course. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.